So, happy Paddy's Day, everybody. Yet to work the hashtag bit out, but anyway, here I am in my studio, and I've just written this little piece for your titivation. It's called Pride and Paving. Crazy paving. Crazy paving was a fad in the 60s when people thought sticking misshapen slabs of concrete down in unorganised random patterns was preferable to grass. My mother had this notion. We had perfectly good grass outside the back door that led to the garden, and as Daddy said, quite rightly I thought, why the hell, Mary, on God's earth do we need blasted concrete? Strewn all over the place. It's ugly and utilitarian, and only people who live in council houses have it. It's common as muck. And if you're going to dig up perfectly good grass, at least lay the blasted stuff in neat rows. It's enough to give anyone a fit. My father definitely had a thing about people in council houses. And although he never won a battle with my mother, on this, the subject of the crazy paving, he did at least try. He roared and ranted and cursed and blasted, and she just waited till he went fishing and got on with it. An admirable quality I inherited from her. So, half a ton of concrete slabs got delivered behind my father's back, which she smashed up with a sledgehammer while we all watched, and then we all got to help mix cement, which was done at great speed with the fear of God in us in case he came home while we were in the middle of it. Mummy's theory was once it was down and dried, it would be too late to shift it, and much to our amazement, the world didn't end, and Daddy went out to the bird aviaries and didn't even notice it. I believe that was one of my most formative childhood experiences, which I have applied to many situations in life. So, there it was. Mummy was very proud of her efforts. But we thought it looked really grey and dull. With goodness in our hearts and excited by our total genius, we decided one day while both Daddy and Mummy were out, and we were under the eye of one of the stream of housekeepers that were meant to keep us from going feral, but just read books and sat about, that we would paint it. Just the pieces, so as to make it more beautiful. We got into the garage, which we did by me climbing in through the teeny window and letting the others in. This was where Daddy kept his big wood lathes and tools. We weren't allowed in there at any price. So we had a system, which involved me leaving last after locking the door on the inside and exiting out through the window again. It worked great, and we were always thrilled that Daddy never worked out how we got the screwdriver to take the locks off the window or the big hammer we used to build the giant go-kart. Adults are a bit dim sometimes. Anyway, we found a tin of blue paint called gloss. It sounded perfect and would surely be shiny. Armed with this and some brushes, we set about the job. It looked lovely. We were so excited and proud. We couldn't wait for Mummy and Daddy to come home and see it. Till Jackie knocked the tin over, it went in all the cracks in between, so that then we had to paint it all. We then had to wash the brushes, so we went round the house and in the front door to avoid Mrs. Cox, and some blue got on the steps, and then the carpet in the hall. And what was really weird, it wouldn't wash out of the brushes, they just got really sticky and sloppy, so that the sink got painted blue too. So then we tried to wash them out in the bath. Jackie got paint on the towel. And Wendy walked in a bit and suddenly it was everywhere. The trouble was we couldn't get it off us. Everything we touched got blue paint on it and somehow it was in our hair and all over our hands and shoes. And at this point Mummy and Daddy came home. Mummy said, "Dear God." And Daddy said, "What the bloody blue blazes have you hell spawn been up to now?" Mrs. Cox came hurtling out of the kitchen and on seeing the desecration said weakly, "Oh dear," and went to put the kettle on. "Mummy, Daddy, come and see, it looks lovely, please, please." We tried to explain. Wendy said bravely, "We thought Daddy would like it more if it was pretty." Daddy said, "What the hell are they talking about, Mary?" We got into a lot of trouble. And after being scrubbed raw with some hideous smelling stuff called white spirit, we were all sent to bed. It's typical, I thought as I lay there. Try and do a lovely thing you're proud of, and what happens? Jackie ruins it.